Iron Man 3, directed by Shane Black, starring Robert Downey Jr., Gwyneth Paltrow, Don Cheadle, Guy Pearce, Rebecca Hall, Jon Favreau, and Ben Kingsley. The last part in the Iron Man trilogy, although the character would go on to appear in later MCU movies. We open with a flashback to the New Year's Eve of 1999, where Tony is at a conference in Switzerland. While there, he meets a young scientist named Aldrich Killian, who he blows off completely in favor of spending the night with a lady named Maya Hansen. He's attracted to her looks, but also to her intellect, as she's a scientist as well, she's working on a formula called Extremis, which is supposed to allow people to heal wounds and even regrow lost limbs. But eventually, Tony also blows her off. Fast forward to current day. Tony is working like a maniac on the next suit and the next suit and always the next Iron Man suit. Can't sleep at night because of PTSD from the events of the Avengers, where he carried the nuclear warhead into outer space to save humanity. And this puts a strain on him personally as well as on his relationship with Pepper. And to top it all off, there's a new Middle East terrorist leading the Ten Rings group, which originally kidnapped Iron Man in the first film. The guy is calling himself the Mandarin, and he's carrying out attacks across the globe, taunting the US, and in one of those attacks, even hurting Tony's friend Happy. So Tony takes it personally, swears revenge on the Mandarin, but meanwhile, ghosts from his past begin appearing that may or may not be related to the new villain. So, in general, Iron Man 3 is pretty much on brand with the other MCU movies. Great action, great special effects, inventive set pieces, likable characters, funny one-liners, and monologuing villains. This all works quite well. What's also interesting to me is the exploration of PTSD affecting Iron Man as a result of his superheroics. I mean, it's not a deep psychological film by any means, let's be honest, but it does a good job of at least putting the subject on the map and further showing us the human side of these crazy superheroes. I do remember that a lot of the comic book fans were upset by the Mandarin plot twist when the movie first came out. Honestly, I think it works quite well. It's unexpected and funny at the same time, and doesn't really take away from the film itself. Plus, it keeps in line with the Marvel Universe being way more grounded back then. What I didn't like is the addition of Aldrich Killian. Maybe you're not aware of this, but initially the script had Maya Hansen as the sole villain, but the then existing Marvel Creative Committee, which was basically a bunch of old dudes mentally stuck in 1950s, objected to that. They said that the movies are mainly vehicles for selling toys, and since only boys watch those films, yeah, right, then nobody would ever buy action figure of girl characters, and as a result, the filmmakers shifted the role of Maya in the film and added Killian to fill her original role, which does make the villain situation slightly messy and all over the place, and the entire conclusion of Maya's character arc is just weird in context. But having said that, the movie is still quite entertaining, well paced, and fun to watch. Good popcorn flick.